Hello and welcome to the video for Tuesday, October 27th for beginning web design. Go ahead and let these guys into the waiting from the waiting room. Hello. How are you?
Okay, I guess. How are you?
I'm okay too. Yay, we're okay. That's all I've ever dreamed of, is just being okay.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Alex?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
Good, thank you. You liking the cooler weather?
Oh yeah, a
Nice.
little bit actually.
Oh yeah,
For now, till not December and January, February though.
yeah, yeah. Right. I hear you, man. Well, let me quickly put you guys into the attendance here, and then we can get started. Let's see. All right, so we're looking at attendance tracking. We're looking at web design. And okay, there we go. Okay, good. We're good. So, do either of you have any additions to your website you'd like to show and talk about?
I do. It's just I've had to kind of put a little hold on some things because my computer's scratch disk is low, so Photoshop won't let me do a lot of things. But um, yeah, I have some stuff on there.
Okay, so I can go there and check it out. Let's see. So we want to go to Pima Web, Pima CC Web. Is that Pima CC Web? .com. PimaCCWeb.com/B2. Okay, and then I can share my screen, sharing. Okay, this is what we see, right?
Yeah, I still couldn't edit the main picture there. I don't know what's wrong with my. Wait, I updated everything because I added something new to it. That's weird.
You mean I can't, there's things that I should see that I'm not seeing?
Yeah, pretty sure I edited everything. What happened? Uh, okay. Can you check on the sermons page? I should have updated things. Maybe at the bottom. Okay, I don't know why everything else didn't show up. I could check real quick.
Okay. And Alex, while she's checking, do you have anything new on your site?
Yeah, I added a new logo and the video that I made. And yeah.
Can you put that link in the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I like the new logo.
Thanks.
Okay, we got the Space Hotel logo now. And then what else?
And then I actually changed the main font on where it says "Take a Trip to Space." It was a sans serif font, and so I changed it to a wait, is that sans serif? It had slabs on it, so I just took out the
Oh, that was slabs is serif and this is sans serif.
okay, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
And then if you scroll down, I added the video that I did for the other class.
Oh, right here.
Yeah. It's not embedded in it, but it'll take you to like the Drive player,
Okay.
and then that's just a video. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it looks really good. I think if you're gonna have Elon and Grimes, you should have their baby XD54368 or whatever his name is.
I should actually. I should.
Okay. And then are you still, I had mentioned something about possibly replacing this background picture. Are you considering that?
Yeah, yeah. I still don't. I'm still not sure what to put. Right now, it's just like a temporary space looking picture, but it kind of gets blurred out with the filter on it. So I'm just, yeah, I don't really know what to put.
Okay. What about something uh like a couple of people getting ready to board, looking like they're getting ready to board a spaceship, like
Hmm.
maybe you'd find a picture of people at a really modern looking airport or something. And the reason I'm saying that is because when people see other people, then they relate to them.
Yeah.
And so if it showed like some people, like even like a couple with their kid, and the kid was all excited and he had like a little, space shuttle. He was like, "Yay!" We're going
Yeah.
we're going on a space trip. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but it's looking good. Now, was there a reason you didn't embed this?
I didn't know how. It's just I kind of just used the like it was already defaulted as to that.
Oh,
There's probably an option to choose to embed it. I can check right now.
yeah. Well, you can. I mean, you can upload videos to your media encoder, and you should be able to just drop them in to the page. Or, of course, you could upload it to YouTube and just use their embed code.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I think it might be better if it was embedded here.
Okay.
Yeah. How we doing, Bernadette? Did you find anything?
Sorry, I forgot I had it on mute. For some reason, so I was on there, right? And I updated everything. And then for some reason, when I get on here again, like it's weird, it didn't update. Maybe because when I did it, for some reason on the WordPress site, it said this is just a sample or whatever. I don't know what that meant, or this is just a draft. Um, I don't really understand why it's acting weird.
Oh, okay. Maybe you need to publish the draft.
Uh, Let me try to log in. Yeah, because when I went on there again, like after you looked at mine, it showed that the stuff that I had just added in, and then when I went back in again, it just completely everything went back.
Well, let me show you. Let me show you something, Bernadette. If I make a new page here, and I give it a title and I put some junk in here, right? If I hit save draft, it's going to save it as a draft. It's not going to publish it, right? And
Oh,
if I keep going save draft, it's always going to save it as a draft. Now, when I want it to show up on the site, I have to hit the publish button.
oh, I think I forgot to do that for the.
Yeah.
But it was funny because I did all that stuff to my homepage. Like I edited a lot more stuff on the homepage, and the homepage was already, it wasn't a draft. So I don't understand why it's not.
The homepage. Well, let me see. I think I can get into your site here. Let's see. Oh, I see. Like I'm not seeing these little pictures, right?
Um, yeah, I edited all of that stuff in.
Okay, maybe my website is showing a cached old page.
Hmm.
Let me go to a different browser.
Because I also pulled up the website and it's just bringing up that old thing that I have for the old
Okay.
way.
Yeah, well, it's not working in a new browser either. I'm gonna clear out my history.
Sorry, I don't understand what's going on with everything.
Oh, it's okay. Clearing out my browser history in Safari. And then when it's done, I'll hit refresh. Okay. So yeah, so something's definitely going on with
Oh, and then
site.
now I went back onto it and now it's showing what I have added. It's really weird.
All right, let's see. Pima, let's see, Pima ccweb.com /B2. Oh yeah, now it's there.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Okay. Well, anyway, be happy for small favors, right? Okay, so now we've got these cool icons. I like those a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're really cool. Now, are they going to be clickable?
No, I just made it a picture. I don't know how to um make things clickable on a site, so that's something I need to learn.
Okay. Well, do you want to make them clickable?
Sorry, my dogs keep barking. I have to mute myself. Um, it's just one continual picture, so it'll probably be a little weird to make them clickable.
Okay, well, there are ways that you could do that with image maps and stuff, but let me show you let me show you what you can do. Uh let me go to Photoshop here, file, new. Come on, Photoshop, like we're all waiting, man. Come on. Okay, there we go. Create. All right, so here's your image, right? Now, if we cut this into 3 pieces, let's see. Okay, so now let's see. This thing's in 3 pieces. There's 1, 2, 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So each one of these could be saved as a separate image. So let's see, let me get them in the right order. So we're going to name this one 3. And then that one is 1. And this one is 2. Okay. All right. So if if I were gonna save these, I would probably crop the first one and then just go file, export, quick export as ping. Of course, it's only as quick as my computer, which is running kind of slow. Okay, so desktop, we'll call this 1B because I have a 1 and a 1A already. Okay, so then what I would do is I would do Command Z a couple times to bring everything back. Then I would grab the center one, which is on this layer. Crop, file, export. Okay, call this 2B or not 2B. And then Command Z. Okay, now we select this bad boy. Crop him. Okay, file, export, 3B. Okay, now all right, edit with Elementor. Okay, now I'm not going to mess up what you have here. I'm just going to do something right above it. So if I click my plus symbol, I get a new section in here, right?
Yeah.
Now I can go to, let's see, I can go to here, click image and drag it in, right? Then I can click here and do upload files and select files. I can get 1B, 2B, and 3B and upload them all. Now, that's 3B. Let's see. So 1B first. Let's try and insert that in there. Okay. Now, let's see. I want to see, let's see. Right click. What I need is I need my HTML. Let's see. Oh shoot. What is the actual size of this image? Oh shoot. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay. I gotta change my preferences to pixels. There we go. So 700 by 300. Oh, I guess it didn't keep it. Okay, 700 by 300. Okay, so go back in here and we click on this and we say, yeah, we want to make this 700 by 300. Apply. Whoa, this thing sucks. 700 by 300, apply. Okay, let me try something else here because this is crushing my mellow. Delete. Okay, let me try a different tact. Let me try a text editor in hopes that maybe the text editor will let me drop in images. Or at least drop in the, yeah, add media. Okay, so I'm gonna click add media. I'm gonna click this. I wanna put it at its full size, and I want to align it left, let's say. Well, no, let's not do any alignment. Okay. Oops, I forgot. Sorry, why did I get that one in there? Anyway, okay, you must have made these much smaller than they are. Let's see, can I edit this picture? Okay. Sorry, this is not going as smoothly as I had hoped.
It's okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't think to make them clickable. It's because I wanted them like in a kind of grid format, and for some reason, whenever I try to make a third column, it only gives me two. So that's why I only, when I do the pictures, I do like just three in a row.
Okay. So what I'm trying to do is drop this one in and then drop the next one in right next to it. But they're too big.
Yeah, I think I did like 1900 something pixels by like 300 for the whole thing. It's okay.
No, I know. I'm just trying to think about what's the best way to do this. I mean, the other possibility is to put in some different rows or columns, basically. Let me try something else. Different approach. So intersection. Okay. So here's this. Let's get rid of this shit. Okay, let's go into intersection. Okay, so now we've got two columns in there, and then we want to add a new column. So now we have three columns.
Oh, so how did you do that again? I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
uh,
So right clicked or something?
so what you do is you click the plus to make a new section, right?
Yeah.
Now then, you can click on this intersection thing here and drag that in, and that's gonna add two new sections inside the main section. Okay.
Yeah.
Now then you right click and you say add new column, and now you've got three sections.
Oh my goodness, I could have been doing that the whole time. I know how to do the section, but I didn't know how to add another column. So,
Yeah,
okay.
I know, it's a pain in the butt.
Thank you.
Now I grab my image and I drop it in here. I grab this one and insert it. Oh, good, it came in the right size. Okay. Now, I can do the same with these other ones, and then I can see if I can get rid of this gutter, although I don't really need to get rid of the gutter if I don't want to. So let's see, now we can go drop this image in here, and that's going to be the heart. And then here we drop in an image, and that's going to be the hands. Okay, so now you got the three images. Strangely, they're not lined up. This one is a different size from these two, which is just bizarre and wrong. Let's see. Let me see what the size of this image is. Image size 1024 by 1024. Here, let's just do custom.
Maybe try thumbnail size because
Oh,
it said like.
yeah. Oh, there you go. That was it. The other ones were thumbnails. Okay, great. Okay, now, if you want to make one a link, you just click on it, and then you just click link, and you put custom URL. So then you can link it to, whatever you want, another page on your site or another web page like Yahoo or whatever.
Oh, okay, so every time you have like say on my about page, there's like events going on, I could just make them clickable and then send them to like another website or to another part of my website.
Yeah, and more often than not, you want to make both images clickable, and then you want to have a clickable link in the text because different people will click on different things.
Okay.
Now, is it okay if I update this and save it? Do you want to use these?
Yeah, go ahead. You can get rid of the bottom one that I made.
Okay. And then, can I get rid of this thing too, or?
That's kind of like a intro to the about page. I don't know if it should it be in there or should I just take it out?
Well, we're on the home page. Do you want that?
I
Oh,
could,
I see. I see. This is going to tell you about the about page. Uh,
yeah.
I'm just going to leave it in for now. You decide later whether you want it or not.
Do you think it's a good thing to keep in there or is it just taking up space?
Well, I guess you kind of are answering the question in a way in that uh, when you're finished putting content in it, then you have to make that decision. Uh, does it have a real value or is it just taking up space?
Okay.
Yeah, because your homepage is probably your most valuable real estate. So unless something is serving a very specific purpose, you probably don't want it on
Okay.
there. Okay, so we got those, and hopefully we answered some questions along the way. Anything else we should be looking at here?
I also made a picture for the map. I didn't make the map clickable or anything. It's towards the bottom. Um, I just did like a little sketch of it.
Yeah, I mean that looks good. I guess as good as that looks, it kind of makes me yearn for a Google map in a way.
Yeah.
Now, you can insert a Google map here. See right over here, Google Maps.
Yeah.
So like, I could go here and I could click the plus symbol again, and then grab the Google map and drop it in. Now, what I have to do is, let's see, 5968 East Fairmount Street. So I have to figure out how the hell to use this. Oh, here we go.
Oh, so you just drop it in there.
Yeah, and then you type in 5968 East Fairmont Street, Tucson, AZ 85712. And there you go, right? And then that's a working Google map. People can actually click
Yeah.
on that and stuff. Do you want me to save that?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, you can always decide whether you want to keep or lose these things. I mean, your map looks good, but I guess, like I said, as a user, I would probably get more use out of the Google map.
Yeah. The only like I was thinking of using the Google map is just like stylistically I like that kind of dark background to
I,
no, I don't know how to
I agree. Maybe you could split the difference by turning this whole thing into a link and saying click here for Google Map. And then what you do is just put this on a separate page and link them to that.
oh, okay.
I mean, I kind of like that idea as the best of both worlds kind of
Yeah,
solution.
because I like the idea of having them go to an actual map, but stylistically, I wanted it a little bit different. But if it's easier for them to use, then I could try just keeping what you put on there.
Well, like I said, if you split the difference and left your map and then just made it a link, you could take them to a page that had this on it.
Okay.
Um, but it brings up a good point, which is when you're doing a website, as when doing all artistic things, you have to figure out the proper balance between form and function. Okay, so in this case, uh, the form, which is your design, looks really good, but it's not as functional as a map.
Yeah.
So, uh, maybe another solution would be if Google lets you add CSS to their maps, you might be able to make it look more like this. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, so, you know, from the form perspective, people would say just put a map on there. People will use it. Maybe you could put a nice border around it. Maybe you could do some CSS so it's embedded inside a nicer design. The function people, or I'm sorry, the function people would say it. The form people would say no, no, leave your beautiful design. Maybe click, have it be a link, like I said, to an actual map. So you have to decide at which point you're going to elevate one over the other. You know,
Okay.
the perfect world would be the balance of the two, but sometimes it's not possible. Okay, and I agree with you. You put a lot of time and effort and thought into this site, and it's absolutely beautiful. And
Oh,
then
thank you.
you get down here, and you get this sort of nasty map that doesn't fit with anything, right? Uh,
Yeah.
whereas this looks really nice. So I totally get that you might want to stick with the form and offload them for the function somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, if I were using the site, I wouldn't feel bad if I hit this and then there were a link that said, click here for a Google map. I just click there and then I have my Google map. I'd be happy as a clam. And anybody that wasn't going to use the Google map would see this nice graphic and wouldn't have to be subjected to this jarring, aesthetically jarring image here.
Yeah.
Um, all right. So other questions or updates that you made, or
Um, well, I wanted to know how to do like a donate page. I don't know how to do that. Um, so I don't know how to say it, but
okay. So well, there's a couple things. Do you remember? I think it was 2 weeks ago we looked at all those plugins.
oh yeah. Um,
Um, I think one of them was a donate plugin. I'm sure it was. Let's see if we can go figure that out. Web design beginning. So let me go back. Awesome.
oh, um, because for some reason my computer is running low on disk space. My Photoshop won't really let me do a lot of things. I mean, it will, but I need to go in and check everything out again. But I might have to keep my website limited to only a few pages for right now. So
Do
it's really
you
annoying.
know about do you have anything like an external hard drive that has some space on it?
Um, no, I mean, I use flash drives. I don't know if that's the same thing or if that's okay for me to use.
Yeah, you can use them. Do you know like how to clean off your computer or do the run the disk utility? Are you a Mac?
No, this is a Windows.
Oh, because you should be able to clean up some files and throw away some things and get yourself some room on your scratch disk. Now, the other thing you can do is if you have a portable hard drive, one of you know, I can't lift it up high enough for this thing to see it, but I'm talking about the portable hard drives.
Yeah, I think so. It's like a little square kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have a portable hard drive or if you bought one with all your piles of money lying around, um, you could plug it into your computer, and then in Photoshop you can set the scratch disk to be pointed to that. So you go under preferences, scratch disks, and what you'll see on mine is you'll see that the Macintosh has 236 gigabytes free, but this thing called Backbeat has like, you know, it's got terabytes free. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you would use that portable hard drive for your the disk or
Yes. So watch this. You can click on this one here, and then I think you can move it up like this, and now it's number one. See that?
Mhm.
So now that one with all of the space on it is going to be used as a scratch disk, which means Photoshop will run like a charm theoretically, right?
Yeah.
Um, now, if you if you do have the money to invest in a portable hard drive, and they've really dropped in price. I mean, you can get them for $50, $100 on Amazon and stuff like that. But there's a couple advantages to you. First of all, you could back up some of your important files, right? And secondly, it would serve that scratch disk purpose and maybe solve some of your Photoshop problems.
Okay.
So
Cool.
if that's an option for you, maybe consider it.
Okay.
I'll show you what I just bought. This one, it was 100 and it was way too big. It's like 5 terabytes. It was like $109 or something like that. Let me uh, let me find it real quick. Okay, so we're gonna say Seagate.
Sorry, I threw you guys off topic.
No, 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 no. This is all good. Oh yeah, perfect. Check this out. So I just bought a Seagate, and Seagate's been pretty good for me. This is a 1 terabyte external hard drive. It's only $47.99. If you got Prime, you can get it tomorrow, and there's probably only going to be a couple dollars worth of tax. So we're probably looking around 50 beans, and you have that thing tomorrow. Assuming you had Amazon Prime. But um, yeah, you see what I mean. So it's doable, provided you have the Kashish, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and Alex is saying CC Cleaner will remove a lot of temporary files, and I believe that's a free download, right? Right, Alex?
Yeah.
I think I have that app. Like somebody put it on my computer, but I don't know how to use it. So maybe I'll just ask them like, how would I
Yeah, or just look online.
All right.
Yeah. Um, yeah, but anyway, those are some options for you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, let me go back. Let's see. There was something that I was looking at. I don't even remember what it was. Pima Draco. All right. So web design. Okay. So I made this thing called a take-home test for CSS, right? And I gave it to my students last semester, and it was good in that it helped them to look up certain things and learn these things and then replicate them in the test format, right? Now, a take home test is probably kind of a scary thought, a scary sound, or a scary name. You might even just consider it a form of homework or whatever. But let me show you what I have here. I have this thing called the CSS study guide. And I guess I have to download the damn thing and unzip it. So let me work on that process. All right. All right. So this is what I'm calling the study guide. And basically what I did with the class, and I want to do it with the last class, I want to do it with you guys, is go over this information and then ask you guys to take the other file home and to replicate this stuff yourself. So in other words, this file explains what everything is, and it has the code that shows you how to do everything, because it's an actual HTML page, right? That you can open in Dreamweaver. In fact, maybe it's better that I open this in Dreamweaver. Let me go ahead and launch Dreamweaver real quick. And while Dreamweaver is launching, let me show you the other page that's on here. So then this other one is the CSS take-home test, which is a PDF. Still downloading, or maybe it never downloaded. Let's try again. CSS take-home test. Okay. Okay, come on, Acrobat. We know you can do it. There we go. Okay. So the CSS take-home test basically just says, hey, I want you to create the following from scratch. In other words, type it yourself. And what you have to do is create all this stuff. Now, all the stuff that you're going to create is on that study guide. So you have a reference for it. But what I'm trying to get you to do is type it yourself, so you'll learn how the code works. All right, so now, sorry, Dreamweaver's being slow as humanly possible. All right, let me try opening this with Dreamweaver when Dreamweaver figures out its purpose in life. Slowness, 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 and more slowness. Okay, it'll open eventually. We just have to be patient. Everybody just kind of take a deep breath, hold it in, blow it out. Okay, here we go. Okay. I got too excited. And now, oh, there it is. Okay, cool. Now, if you open the CSS study guide in Dreamweaver, in one section, you'll see the front end, and in the other section, you'll see the back end, the code, right? So let's go over this together. And then I would like you guys to do this, quote, take home homework at home. In other words, you're going to be asked to recreate this, right? And type it, manually type every single piece of code so you understand how it works, right? So first of all, we have a regular HTML page, which starts with doc type HTML, and then the HTML tag, and then it ends with the HTML tag, right? Then there's a body section down here, which contains all the code that appears on the page. It starts there and it ends here, right? And then, of course, there's a head section, which begins right after the HTML and ends down here. And the head section contains all the references to the code. In other words, it contains the CSS style sheet, which is affecting everything in the body area. Now, normally, you guys know that we link to an external style sheet. And I did actually link to an external style sheet, which is this right here. It's a separate page, and you can see it right here. This is the linked style sheet. It doesn't have anything on it. I just used it to show you how to link to a style sheet, okay? And then what I did was I put in the style tag here and the end style tag here, and I basically put all the styles that I wanted to appear on this page in the head section. So once again, to reiterate, if you are making a regular web page, you generally put all your styles on a separate CSS style sheet. But when it comes to things like testing and showing demos, it's way easier to just put them on the same page so you don't have to go back and forth. And that's what we did here, right? Okay, so let's look at some examples of what we want here. So it's called the CSS study guide. And the first thing that we do is we say that a style, what we call a style, is also called a selector. That's another name for it. And so each one of these things here, in between the style tags, each one of these things is called a selector. Okay, I just call them styles, but the official name for them is selector. A sort of another unofficial name for them is rule. Like, this is a rule that you have to follow, right? Okay, now, of these styles, there's a certain type of style which is called a class. And a class is indicated by a dot, right? And if we look over here in the style sheet, right here where you have a dot before a selector, that indicates a type of style which is called a class, right? Now, this one is called dot blue headline, right? And what that means is it's a class, and within the style sheet, the dot indicates it's a class, but then on the actual HTML page, you have to actually call it a class. So if we go down here to the HTML page and we say class equals blue headline, then what happens is the computer goes up and it looks for dot blue headline. So class equals dot, which is a general style. Okay. Now, there's another type of style which is called an ID, and it is indicated by a pound sign. So, for example, I have a div here, and it says ID equals my div, right? And then if you go up inside of the style sheet, you see pound sign my div. And so pound sign means ID. So dot means class, right? And then pound sign means ID, right? And generally, IDs are only used once. Like on a web page, you might have one header and one footer, so you could call those IDs, right? But classes are used over and over again. So for example, blue headline, you might have it all over your website, might be a class because you're going to use it over and over, whereas an ID might be something like a header where you just have one of it, right? Now here's an example. It says here is a, okay. Now this is a different, this is an example right here of my div, right? So what I did was I made a class, an ID via pound sign called my div, right? And I called it here. And then what I did was I put some styles with it. So I said, okay, in my div, if there's a paragraph, I want the background of that paragraph to be yellow, okay? So if we go down here and we see my div, you see that there's some text inside my div, but there's one line that's surrounded by paragraph tags. And it says this text is on a yellow background. And the reason it's on a yellow background is because I said in here in my div that if there was anything within a paragraph tag, which is indicated by a P, should have a yellow background, right? You can change that. You can say that I want it to have a green background, right? And then it changes to green. Okay. Now, sorry, I gotta learn it. I gotta spell green out of the word yellow. It's kind of hard. Okay. Now, notice that this selector here, this ID, only refers to paragraphs that are inside the div called my div. But notice there's a red background. Now, where do you think that red background got created?
The my div.
Right. Two selectors above this, we reference my div again, but this time we're saying, hey, this div, which is a box that holds content, it should have a width of 500, a height of 100, and a background of red. So in other words, when you create styles, you can reference the same style over and over again, but make it do different things. In this case, we're making the background color and a size of the div. And here we're zeroing in specifically on any paragraphs that are inside the div and what the background should look like, right? Let me see what else I could think of to do in here. Let's see, there's paragraphs, there's spans. Oh, here's something else I could do. Well, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do something that affects my div. Oh yeah, here's something else I could do. If I wanted to further affect my div, I could just create yet another style. And I could say margin dash top 5 EM. And you see how this thing just moved down a lot? So in other words, you can create as many divs as you want or as many selectors as you want and have them all apply to, you know, one section of your website. Now, that's not very efficient. It would be more efficient for me to take this margin top and put it here, and then it would have the same effect, right? However, the reason that this one is separate from this is because this one is targeting specifically the paragraph, and this one is targeting the entire div, right? Now, so in this case, it actually makes sense. you actually do, and what I would probably do is move this one up under this. So when I was looking for things that are affecting this, this section called my div, they would all be together in one place. Now, the reason this is important is because when you go look at actual web pages, you're going to see a lot of this. You're going to see a lot of repetition of, you know, certain catchphrases, certain names of styles and things like that. But each one is going to be doing something different, something specific. Okay. All right. Does that make sense? What we talked about there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, down here we talk about a tag. Now, a tag is when we talk about a tag is an existing style, such as P inside angle brackets. Now, so for example, we know that you can put P around text and it will make a paragraph space above and below it, right? However, you can go into your style sheet here and you can put the letter P down, which is an existing style, and you can redefine that style. You know, if I just put a P in here, it's automatically going to put a certain amount of space above and below, right? But if I say, hey, you know what? Anywhere where there's a P, I want the top part to be 5 EMs. Notice what happens, right? Every paragraph on the page gets jacked up, right? Because now wherever there's a P, I want it to be 5 EMs, right? Now, so that means that in addition to just being able to use tags on the page like P's and stuff, you can A, redefine that P tag any way you want, and B, target specific P tags inside specific sections. So, you know, all the P tags on the page would be controlled by this, but the P tag inside the my div, which is this bad boy right here, would be further controlled by that style. So that's actually a good illustration of why cascading style sheets are called cascading style sheets. A cascading, something that cascades is like a waterfall that falls down from one level to the next. And the way that cascading style sheets are set up, they're set up so that you can declare one style that you know drips down and affects everything else. However, you can also go in there and take one specific style on the page and exempt it from the general style and say, you know what? You know, all paragraph tags are going to have 5 EMs above them, except for this one in the my div tag that's going to have 1, you know, EM above it. So it gives you the best of both worlds. You can create a general style and affect everything, but then if you want to go into one specific thing and change it, you can. Okay. So that's how you can use these tags. You can redefine the tags, right? Here's another example. H1 is an existing tag. Down here, you can see H1, and H1 will do things like make something really big, right? It'll make the text really big. Now, what I did down here was I said, hey, if you have an H1 tag, I would like it to be green. See, and everything in that H1 tag is green, right? But I put a comma here, meaning, by the way, I'm going to go ahead and define two things at once. I'm gonna say all of the H1 tags have to be green and all the paragraph tags have to be green. Now notice I have a P tag up here. So if I wanted to, I could be more efficient and I could just say color green and then that would work. And then when I remove this P here, all the paragraphs stay green because I told them up here to be green, right? So once again, this just shows you that you can apply generalities, all paragraphs are green, you know, or you could go in and say, you know, something interesting about specific paragraphs, which is this one has a yellow background, right? Now here I say that all H1s should be green, right? And sure enough, that one is, right? But let me put another one in here. Let me type some more content here. So I'm going to put another H1 right underneath the first one. But what I'm going to do is I'm also going to put a paragraph tag around this. Okay, so now we have an H1, which of course is green because we told it to be green. But now we have an H1 that is inside a paragraph tag. So we could further stylize that. Let's see if I can get this to work. Okay, so what I did was I put, okay, now if you have an H1 tag that has a paragraph tag inside of it, make that red. So up here we're saying, hey, all H1s are green. Up here we're saying all paragraphs are green, right? But in that style that I just made, we're saying, oh, but in the specific case of an H1 that has a paragraph tag inside of it, make it red, okay? So that's a really good example of both the generality and the specificity of CSS, okay? All right, now let me scroll down a little bit. All this stuff here, now, when you put two tags together like this is called a compound tag, just like a compound sentence. We've got two elements together, right? And remember, you can either do it like this, or if you want to be very efficient, you could put like a comma here. And now what you're doing is you're saying, hey, all H1s and all paragraphs should be read. That's a different kind of tag. That's like, it's just like English grammar. If you say, I bought horses, I bought a horse and I bought a radish, and you have a comma between them, it's two separate items. But if you say, I bought horseradish and no comma, then it's all compound. It's all one thing. So the comma means you're talking about two separate styles, and the lack of one means it's compound. It's just H1Ps, right? Now, okay, so all of that stuff in here in green between these two boxes explains what I just talked about, right? Now, then we go down here and we have something which is called inline CSS. Now, CSS can be in three places. It can be on a separate style sheet, right? Like this over here. It can be at the top of a page, like this stuff up here. But it can also be inline, which means it's literally right there in the code. So let me click on this hello world. Okay, so we've got this text here called hello world, and it says here is an example of inline CSS. And what I have is I have this little tag here which is called span. Now in our language, in English, a span is a distance, right? It's a length of something. Well, when you use the span tag in HTML, you're just saying everything between the beginning span tag and the end span tag, this is the length, this is the distance that I want to change, right? So you can use a span tag, and then you can put any stylistic thing you want in it. So I'm saying, hey, the style of this, span should be, color should be purple. Let's see, where am I here? I got to get on the hello world. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Okay. So what I'm saying is, I'm saying, here's an H1 tag, which is surrounding this text. And inside the H1 tag, I put style background color equals medium sea green. And then I said that I want the text to be white, and I want the alignment of this to be center. So all of this code right here, this is called inline style. You're actually applying like a mini CSS style sheet just to that code. And you're saying, hey, I want this to change and be like this, right? Now, that's not the best way to do styles. It's better to rip that out and put it at the top of the page, and it's even better to rip it off the top of the page and put it on a separate style sheet. But once again, I'm just demoing different places you can put it, and also it's easier for me to show you all in one place, right? Here's another inline style. I have the word span, and I tell this to be the color purple. And so inline CSS becomes purple. Down here, I have another style. I'm telling this box here to have a tomato background color and have a border of 2 pixels. So these are all inline styles. This stuff down here is borders, which is what we just talked about. You know, you can make an inline style here. It says you want your border to be 2-pixel dashed tomato. Down here we have a border which also uses that alpha, that transparency that we talked about. So in this case, the border is defined by RGB colors, 255, 99, and 71. And then by an alpha channel, which is 0.5, which means that this is 50% transparency, right? So I'm kind of combining a number of things that we've talked about here, you know, color and alpha channels, borders and styles, you know, like dashed, you know, backgrounds, inline styles, which are affecting these three things, right? We're talking about making custom tags, you know, where you can take like an H1 or a paragraph and write it in and redefine it. We're talking about compound tags, which are two of these together. And then we talked a little bit about the difference between a ID, which is something which has a pound sign in front of it, and a class, which is something which has a dot in front of it. Classes are used in a more general way, and IDs are used more specifically for things that are kind of one of a kind, right? Now, also one thing to reiterate is that whenever you use the tag called body, it affects the entire website, right? So when we say body, we put in these general things that apply to everything, like the font and the font size. Now, if I wanted every page on my website to have a blue background, I could say, you know, background blue in here. And sure enough, it's going to affect every page on the website. The body is the, you know, it's the all command, it's the Uber command, if you will, that affects everything, right? Okay. So what I do want you guys to do is download these files, download the CSS style sheet, download that take-home test, as it's so unfortunately called, and then open something like Dreamweaver and answer those. You know, there's a series of questions on there which basically ask you to recreate this kind of stuff over here. And so do it, type it in, recreate it as you go. You know, make sure you understand what's happening and how it works. It'll make you a better designer. Okay, any questions about that?
So is it just like practice for us, or do you want us to like turn it in, or
I would like you to turn it in.
how would we do that? Because I've never actually I've looked at you work with Dreamweaver, but I've never like used it myself, except for this project we're gonna do. But how would we save it and
Okay, this
use?
is how you would do it. So you would start up Dreamweaver, right? And then inside of Dreamweaver, you could open this document. You could go File, Open, and this study guide is called index.html. So you could just open
Okay.
it right now. Now it's time for you to, you know, you could look at it, you could use it as reference, right?
Yeah.
Now it's time for you to do the test. So you open up that other PDF, right? Ignore this deadline here because that's for the last class, right?
Okay.
Now you open this up, unless you'd like to turn it in April, that's fine. Okay, you open this thing up and it says, okay, la 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 la, what to do? Okay, it says the information right here. Open Dreamweaver and create a new HTML file, and it tells you how to do it, right? Then it says in between the head tags at the top of the document, type a style tag, right? And then an end style tag, and then go ahead and start making all this stuff. Now, if you pay attention to this study guide, it gives you everything you need to answer all these questions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, if you run into any problems or questions, you're more than welcome to ask me. This is not a test in the traditional sense that like you do it and you know you turn it in, you get an A, or you know, it's more like a take-home study guide that I want you to complete to learn this stuff. Okay.
Okay.
All right, and if you can get it done by next week, great. You know, by next week's class, great. If not, well, let's see. Your websites are due next week, right?
Yeah, the
Okay.
third.
Well, let's do this. Let's make this take-home test be due the week after next. Okay. So what that'll do is it'll give you the next week to finish up your website, and then you can work on this. Does that work for you, Bernadette?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I think the last thing I want to do today is just go over some of the stuff that I asked you guys to look at last week. So that would be here. Okay. So did you guys get a chance to look at this stuff? Okay. So this is called the CSS box model. And can you hang on just a second? I want to just grab something to drink because my throat's a little dry here. So I'm going to grab some. Is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be
I'll
right back.
probably do the same.
I'll be right back. All right. You got a drink break into, Bernadette?
Yeah.
All right, good. Let's do this thing. Shh. I'm drinking my girlfriend's mini Coke, but don't tell her. Okay. Should probably see this video, and somebody will post this video on YouTube and I'll get called out. All right. So there's something called the CSS box model. And what the CSS box model is, it's just a way to think about elements in web design and how CSS affects them. So basically what they're saying is take any element that you want to mess with, be it a picture or a piece of text or whatever, and that is referred to as the content. Now the content sits, on the page, and then in your mind, you draw an imaginary box around the content. Now, with that imaginary box, you can add CSS code to do things to it. First of all, you could add padding around that content, right? So let's do an example of this. So let me steal my, let me work with this text is on a yellow background here, right? Now, this is in a section called my div, right? And if I wanted to, I could go up to my div and I could add some padding. Let me add something that's a little more obvious, or an amount that's a little more obvious. Okay, so see this space that is now around my code? That is padding, right? I'm going to get rid of this so that we can really just focus in on that. Okay, so all the space around that is padding, and that's what this is. Okay, it's the space between the edge of your div and the content inside of it is the padding, right? Now, in addition, we can add a border, right? So we just simply go back up to this style here. And remember, borders get multiple types of styling added to them. They get at least three things. They need a color, they need a style, and they need a width. So if I say I want my border to be green, I want it to be dashed. It's the style. It could be solid or dashed or double line or whatever. And I want it to be 20 pixels. And now I get the world's weirdest looking border around this. Let's make it solid because dashed is just weird. Okay, so now we have our content, we have padding around it, and we have a border around that, which is exactly what we see in the box model, right? Now, the next element that you can do to this content, and remember, this applies to all content, whether it's text, images, videos, whatever, is we can apply margin to the outside of the div to move it away from other items. So for example, if we wanted this whole div to be further away from that word example above it, we simply have to go in and add a margin on the top. So I can say margin dash top, 20 pixels, semicolon, and nothing happened. Wow, that's interesting. Let's see. Let me put in something bigger here. 100 EM. Oh, that worked. Let's put in 20 EMs. Okay, you guys see the example, right? So, and let's put in something even less so that we can actually, this all makes sense. Okay, so you can see I put a huge amount of margin between the top of this div and the item that's up there. And that's exactly what this gray area is. It's the margin. So that's the box model. And it's a good way to think about elements and how to apply CSS to them. Okay, and then they give you an example there, but we just did an example. Okay, now let me go to the next page. Okay, now we have talked about borders, right? And borders go around the div, right? But an outline is a line that is drawn around elements outside the borders to make the elements stand out. So let's see. So if we look here, think about that box model. It says this element has a black border and a green outline with a width of 10 pixels. So an outline is just a line that exists outside of a border, right? And so here they're giving you the box model again. They're saying, hey, you have content, you have a border around it, and then the outline exists outside of that. And the outline, you know, has a color, it has a width, it can have a style like dashed or dotted. And it has something called offset, which means you can move it further away from the content, right? And these are all of the different styles that you can apply to outlines. And then here are some of the examples, right? So let's go to the try it yourself. Okay, so notice, let's use this top one here. This top one, class dotted, has a dotted outline, right? Now, that's called P dotted, right? Now, what if I added a border in here as well? So now what I'm going to say is I'm going to say border, let's see, green, 10 pixels, solid. Let's see. Okay, so see how the border is what's closest to the content and how the outline exists outside of it. That's all we're saying, is it's just like another level of a line that you can draw around content, right? Okay, and then they're showing you all the different styles here. Okay, let me go back. All right. Now, once again, if you understand borders, you automatically understand outlines. You know, here, it's just the same properties that we applied to borders: thin, medium, thick, and then extra thick, you know, outlines. Okay, no problem there. There's the code that generates all those. And then once again, another property, which is color. You know, so this should make sense to you guys after studying borders. And of course, in here, you can also do the whole RGB way of coloring things, which means you can also do the RGBA, which means alpha, which means you can make it semi-transparent, right? So here, notice they're using a hexadecimal color. Here they're using an RGB value, right? And then, let's see, this is a new one for us, invert color. It says the following example uses outline color invert, which performs a color inversion. This ensures that the outline is visible regardless of color background, right? So in other words, if you put a background color on the page, that outline color would be visible. So let's try. So here's a body. Let's see. Here's my style tag. And if I put in the word body or Boyd, beware the void. Okay. And I say background blue. Okay. So what happens is this invert is always supposed to be visible against whatever the background color is, right? So it says a solid invert outline, and that's what that is. And clearly you can still see it. So that's just a little trick that you can use if your content isn't showing up on a background. Okay, now we have what's called the shorthand property, which is when you take all of these different elements and put them in one style. So right here, you can see it, 5 pixels solid yellow, right? Or another way to say it is you could say a thick border with a ridge that's pink. All of this stuff, you know, it all works, right? It's just different ways to dictate how it's going to look. Now, nobody expects you to memorize all this stuff. You know, when you need help with CSS styles, you can just look them up. That's what I do. I don't remember thick ridge pink, you know, I just look it up, right? And then here's that one other special property, which is called the offset. The offset basically just moves the outline away from the border. And you can see there's a 15 pixel offset here that moves that away. And if we were to change it to 25 pixels, it would go even further away. Or if we were to change it to 10, it would get much closer. Okay, so another tool in your toolbox is these outlines. And then I believe, yeah, that's it. That's the whole outline section, right? Okay, any questions about that, outlines?
Nope.
Nope, okay. All right, so I think that's about it for today, guys. I think what I'm gonna do is, you know, let you spend the rest of the period working on your websites, finishing them off for next week. Once you do get your website finished, you know, if you finish it before next Tuesday, download that CSS study guide and the take-home test and work your way through that. It shouldn't really take you that long, and you'll learn some things. And then we can look at those when you've finished them. But like I said, that won't be due for 2 weeks, so you got plenty of time to work on that. Okay, any questions from you guys?
For the test, it doesn't, the stuff that we put on the website doesn't have to be in any particular order, as long as it follows the requirements.
You mean on the test?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do it in any order. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay, you guys are good to go. Have yourself, well, have a happy Halloween, okay?
Yeah, forgot about that. Are they still doing it?
Yeah. Are you guys doing anything? Are you even dressing up, even just to hang around the house?
Well, my cousin, he's like 5, 6. I don't know how old he is, but he's actually born on Halloween, so we might have something over here for him at my house.
That
So
sounds fun.
yeah.
How about
So,
you, Alex?
My mom's birthday is also on Halloween.
No way.
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys want to see the costumes that I have?
sure.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I'm too old now, but I should wear something. Just kidding.
Okay. So I actually have two costumes. One is just to dress up in on Halloween. My girlfriend and I are just going to hang out here and have dinner, but we just thought we'd dress up for fun, right? So this is mine. It is the retro deli guy.
Cool.
And so I'm going to have this little hat and this bow tie. And it comes with the ketchup and the mustard bottle. It should be on there, right? So it's just kind of a silly costume, right? Okay, so that'll be fun. But here's the one that I'm excited about. So, you know how when you get on Zoom, you have a choice whether to show your video or not?
Yeah.
Okay, and a lot of people just don't show their faces. You know, no offense to anybody here today, Alex, because you're not the only student that doesn't show his face, right? But a lot of students just have that black screen. You know what I mean? So this is my Halloween costume. It's going to be this black screen. I'm going to be like a Zoom student, right? Now, the way I'm going to make it, check this out. This is pretty funny. I bought this crazy thing. This is a Joe Biden mask, right? But on the back, it has this strap so you can wear it, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the Joe Biden mask and I'm going to glue it to this thing. And then I'm going to cut a couple eye holes out, strap it around my head, and then there'll just be this with some eye holes in it, right?
Oh, okay.
And I'll just be like this, and you'll see my eyes, and that will be my costume, right? What do you think?
Clever. It's nice. I was actually thinking because I'm too lazy to put anything together, so I was thinking of going to get like those full body costumes. So I was like, huh, maybe I'll be a pumpkin or a banana this year.
That's a great idea. I mean, I'll admit, a lot of years I've been too lazy to do anything, and like now I'm trying to make up for it by at least do something. You know what I mean?
I'll just want to get like a big head thing, or I don't know, just something simple.
Are you going to dress up at all, Alex? I don't know if you're talking, Alex, but your mute might be on. If you are, hello, Alex. Oh, you know, he may have stepped away for a second, Bernadette. Okay. So anyway, well, whatever you do, have a great Halloween. Have fun with your little. Was it your nephew? It's his birthday.
No, cousin. I forget how old he is.
Hello.
Like really little, but
Okay. Are you back, Alex? No, he's not. Okay.
he was
Oh,
talking.
oh, it says weird. I'm talking. He's actually talking, but we can't hear him.
Huh. Maybe his internet's acting up. I don't know.
Let me see. Well, he's not muted here, so I don't know what it is. Anyway, but some sort of technical. I was saying I was going to be a hot dog again, maybe. I was a hot dog one year. That's a great costume. I love that costume, Alex. So do that and send in some pictures, okay? All right. Well, you guys have a great holiday, and I will look forward to seeing you next week.
Okay.
Bye now. And